The evening rain had just stopped as the neon lights of Hong Kong reflected across the wet streets. Small restaurants reopened their doors, shopkeepers greeted customers, and families slowly returned to the sidewalks after the storm. But one neighborhood remained silent. Everyone knew why. A violent street gang known as the Black Vipers controlled the area through fear and intimidation. Shop owners were forced to pay protection money every week. Young people avoided walking alone after sunset, and even the police rarely entered without backup. The gang leader, Victor, believed fear was the greatest weapon a man could possess. Standing nearly 6 feet 5 inches tall with years of street fighting behind him, Victor ruled the neighborhood with cruelty. One evening, as a small family walked home carrying groceries, several gang members surrounded them and demanded money. The frightened father tried to protect his wife and young daughter, but the gang only laughed louder. Before the situation could become even worse, a calm voice came from the end of the street. "Let them go." Every gang member turned toward the sound. A lone man dressed in a simple black shirt and dark trousers walked slowly toward them without any sign of fear. His hands rested calmly at his sides and his eyes remained focused. When nearby shopkeepers recognized him, whispers spread through the street. It was Bruce Lee. Victor smiled arrogantly after looking Bruce Lee up and down. "You're brave," he said with a laugh, "or maybe just foolish." The gang members surrounded Bruce from every direction, believing their numbers guaranteed victory. The frightened family stepped back while curious neighbors quietly watched from doorways and windows. Bruce remained completely calm. "You don't have to do this," he said quietly. "Walk away and nobody gets hurt." The gang burst into laughter. Victor shook his head. "You're standing in my street," he replied. "Around here we make the rules." Without warning, one gang member rushed forward, swinging a wild punch toward Bruce's face. Before anyone understood what had happened, Bruce moved. His body shifted only inches as the punch missed completely. In the same instant, Bruce redirected the attacker's momentum and gently pushed him aside, causing him to stumble harmlessly onto the pavement. The crowd gasped. Bruce hadn't attacked with anger. He had simply defended himself with perfect timing. The remaining gang members looked at one another in disbelief before charging together. Bruce's movements became almost impossible to follow. He stepped smoothly between attacks, avoiding punches and kicks by the smallest margins while delivering quick, controlled counters that stopped each attacker without unnecessary force. One lost his balance after rushing too aggressively. Another found himself unable to continue after a precise strike to the body. The street echoed with surprised shouts as more gang members realized that brute strength and numbers meant little against calm discipline and years of dedicated martial arts training. Bruce never appeared angry. His breathing stayed steady and every movement served a purpose. To the people watching from nearby shops, it looked less like a fight and more like a demonstration of complete control. Victor's smile disappeared as he watched his gang struggle. Furious, he stepped forward himself, determined to prove his reputation. The much larger man threw powerful punches that would have overwhelmed most opponents. Bruce refused to meet strength with strength. Instead, he used footwork, distance, and timing to stay just beyond Victor's reach. Every missed attack drained Victor's energy while Bruce remained relaxed. Finally, Victor charged recklessly with everything he had. At the last possible moment, Bruce stepped aside, redirected Victor's momentum, and delivered a single controlled strike that forced the gang leader to stop. Victor staggered backward, breathing heavily, and slowly realized the fight was over. Silence filled the street. The gang members who moments earlier had relied on fear now looked uncertain. Bruce lowered his hands and simply said, "Real strength isn't about making people afraid. It's about protecting those who cannot protect themselves." The gang quietly helped their leader to his feet and left the neighborhood without another word. The frightened family thanked Bruce, and the shopkeepers slowly emerged from their stores, relieved that the violence had ended. As Bruce walked away into the night, the people watching understood that his greatest weapon had never been anger or intimidation. It was discipline, self-control, and the willingness to stand up for others.